Oh, you said I always walk in front of people.
Yeah. Did you laugh? I laughed because when you stepped in front of the Harlem Globetrotter, he was still like towering over you. And it was just like so funny. And then Keith laughed, and I knew if Keith was laughing, it's because it's at somebody's expense. And then I instantly felt bad and regretted it. But it came from a good place. It was just an observation.
Don't touch me.
Were you mad at me today?
Don't touch me. Clearly.
Could you hear it in your ear?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
No.
Because Keith got a good chuckle out of it.
No, I watched it back.
And you guys did too. Everybody at home did too.
Well, it's usually because you two are still talking and someone's going to end the show. So
yeah,
I have to like actually step forward.
I know, and there's movement. I get it. I get it. And you're also sometimes moving to look at the pulse poll.
Well, that's so they can't see.
Yeah.
Well, I can't see it because the monitor is always facing.
Here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. Millions of dollars pouring in at the last minute for political campaigns. How much? We're finding out. Plus,
these lines for early voting are just a taste of what cities are expecting on Election Day. We'll explain how they'll handle it coming up.
And as you know, it's Halloween. We'll give you some tips on how to stay safe tonight and show you a very special celebration for some very special kids. This is News Center Now. Accused synagogue shooter Robert Bowers was indicted on 44 counts, including hate crimes, by a federal grand jury today. Good evening, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. Bowers, who frequently posted anti-Semitic rants online, opened fire inside the Pittsburgh place of worship Saturday, killing 11 and hurting 6. He told a police officer that day he just wanted to kill Jews. New developments in the case of murdered Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi.
A top Turkish prosecutor says the journalist was strangled as soon as he entered the Saudi consulate in Istanbul about 4 weeks ago. His body was dismembered and disposed of. Turkey wants the Saudis to extradite 18 suspects. A mafia hitman is a suspect in the prison slaying of Boston crime boss James Whitey Bulger.
A former federal investigator tells the Associated Press that hitman and at least one other inmate are believed to have been involved in the 89-year-old's killing Tuesday at a West Virginia prison. Bulger was a longtime informant for the FBI. Now that hitman was known to despise gangsters who ratted each other out.
We do not despise Keith Carson. We do despise the weather he's been bringing us lately.
What a transition.
Today, for Halloween, I gotta say, so far, not bad. All you gotta do is get me to like 8 o'clock-ish. Kids are in the house. Everything's good. What do you think?
You're looking pretty good there, but statewide, not so much. We got quite a bit of rain here over down East Maine, some snow in the mountains, but there is a gap in that action over southern Maine. A couple of little sprinkles have popped up, though, down towards Biddeford and up to Harpswell and Brunswick as well, but these are really scattered, and the heavier stuff is over down east and northern Maine, where it's been raining for about a half hour or an hour in spots, and coming down pretty heavily here to the north of Bangor through Lincoln and up into Millinocket, where it probably is just going to be wet through the rest of tonight. Temperatures are reacting, rain cooled in spots into the low 40s, mid 40s along the coastline. Relatively nice still along the coast if you're staying dry, but again, there's that chance of that shower. Our forecast is going to show you those showers, and if anything, it's a little light on the precipitation, I think, because there'll be more showers around in the mountains through 8, 9 o'clock. And then tomorrow morning, we're cloudy, and tomorrow is an interesting day because it's certainly not a washout, but there's going to be a chance of showers and a better chance of showers over southern coastal Maine. Through the afternoon, those come onshore, while northern Maine likely stays cloudy through the day, but dry. Guys, we got a big rainstorm to talk about for Friday night, Saturday. We're talking 2.5 inches of rain in spots.
Great.
That's a lot of rain.
Yeah.
And
we'll have to decide if we're going to bring it back.
Yeah.
So here's a different type of rain. It was yellow, and it was foamy, and it was, what are they doing? They were throwing beer cans, and they actually damaged the World Series trophy during today's duck boat parade. This is not funny, guys.
No, not funny. At least they were in a duck boat, and it damaged the World Series trophy. And we shouldn't be having beer cans out in public like that anyway. But here's some snaps from the parade today that those of you that went down, a lot of Mainers heading down to Boston to celebrate the Red Sox World Series
champions. Very cool tradition.
That was very mom of you, though, to say that there was going to be should be no beer. That's something I would say. So I feel like I'm rubbing off on you a little bit. I like it.
You do call me mom, so just living up to my nickname.
Yeah, well, yes. Okay, we are less than a week away from Election Day, and while campaigns continue to pump out ads, the money keeps on pouring in.
Just how much? That's where Samantha York comes in to break it down for us. Sam, what'd you find?
All right, guys, yeah, we're following the money and we're using a source called ProPublica, which is basically an investigative watchdog type organization that keeps track of things like campaign funding. So you can scroll through and kind of get a real-time look at the money that's coming in, where it's going, who it's coming from. So in the last week alone, not including the governor's race, we have seen nearly $3 million that have poured in to the House and the Senate races in both districts. More than $250,000 of those dollars has been donated in the last 24 hours. So where is that money going, you ask? Well, looks like groups are targeting Maine's 2nd district. So according to ProPublica, when you crunch the numbers, 95% of that money that's come in the last week has come in and gone towards supporting or opposing Democrat Jared Golden and incumbent Republican Bruce Poliquin. So just to compare numbers here, in the last week, nearly $1.5 million was donated against Poliquin. Compare that to just under $1 million that was donated against Golden. So where are they spending that money? Well, pretty sure on ads like this. So according to data that's collected from the Wesleyan Media Project, over the last couple weeks, Maine's 2nd district had the, get this, highest number of campaign ads running in the entire nation. So when they looked at the campaign ad cycle for the entire year, Maine is still in the top 5. They're number 4. So definitely going to be more and more money that pours in up until the election day. We'll definitely keep you posted on what comes in. Guys, back to you.
All right, Sam, thanks. That's a lot of money there. And we got a sneak peek at some of the voters behind her. And speaking of that, some of Maine's largest cities are expecting record voter turnout at the polls on Tuesday.
Yeah, Chris Costa spoke to city staff across the state about how they are preparing for some big crowds. Hey, Chris.
Haley and Lindsay, yeah, I spoke to city staff in Bangor, Lewiston, and Portland about how they're going to handle what they expect are going to be these very, very long lines. And they actually use the absentee voters numbers as a gauge for how many people will come out on Election Day. They say those numbers, the amount of absentee ballots they've already sent out alone, is record-breaking. People packing polling locations prior to Election Day feel there's new pressure to vote this November.
I would say so, judging by the number of phone calls I've gotten.
Jennifer Reed is one of the thousands voting before November 6th.
I'd say that it's partly because everybody's pretty stirred up.
City clerks gauge expected turnout on Tuesday based on the number of absentee ballots they issue. In Bangor, city staff have issued more than 5,400 of them and expect to surpass the total from the 2010 election.
We know that on Election Day, there's going to be a large turnout also. And, you know, we're seeing probably close to a record breaker for a gubernatorial for Bangor.
In Portland, they've sent out more than 8,800 absentee ballots, double the amount from 2014.
5,500 have already come back to us, and I know the clerk said this morning that they had another huge bag of mail, so certainly people are getting those ballots in.
In Lewiston, the city clerk says absentee ballots typically account for about 1/3 of eligible voters who don't want to risk long lines, weather, or parking. They say all these early voters don't take away from those who will show up on Election Day. If anything, it's an indication of what to expect.
They're ready for it, and they're certainly looking forward to that day.
It's sort of a holiday spirit to it.
So are voters like Oliver Griswold, who plan to wait until the big day and embrace the long lines.
I think we need every single person between the ages of 18 and 30 to make sure that they vote. It is essential and critical that they do it.
Now, tomorrow is the last day that you can request an absentee ballot. After that, you're going to have to go to your polling location on November 6th to actually cast your ballot. Some city offices are going to be open late tomorrow to allow people to make those requests and fill out their ballots in person. And Lee and Lindsay, if you need a ride to one of those polling locations on November 6th, the Metro buses in Portland and Bangor are going to give you a free ride. So they'll take you there. You guys just have to vote.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah, good deal. Thank you very much, Coco. Appreciate it.
All right, some more headlines now. A former bus driver pleads not guilty to hitting a student with autism. Raymond files answer to the assault charge inside Biddeford District Court.
The former MSAD 15 school bus driver is accused of hitting a 19-year-old nonverbal student across the head when he wouldn't buckle his seatbelt back in August. A witness reported the incident to police, which was reportedly captured on surveillance video. The student's mother says that she hopes that Files gets the maximum punishment allowed.
All right, this next little bit of sound we're about to hear comes from a 3-minute clip of Mike Woodbury, a former AAU coach in the state of Maine and now the owner of a Florida private school. Listen in.
Because now I control everything. I just want you to really know that.
You control what?
I'm going to you in your the next time you talk out of line. I'm going to take everything from you.
Now, a lot of people have been talking about this today, and Woodbury issued an apology saying the language was uncalled for and that there are two sides to the story. Sunshine Independent Athletic Association says it's parting ways with his Nation Christian Academy.
All right, wait for it. We did. And now it's here. It's the lobster emoji. The lobster emoji has finally crawled its way into iOS, available now as part of Apple's 12.1 update. So go catch your lobster, Mainers. Get that emoji on there. Oh, Liam Nee with some Twitter breaking news
fist
today.
pumping from the Digicenter.
Give that kid a follow, will ya?
Also, by the way, is this Bill Green? Did we also get a Bill Green emoji if we update our software?
It is Bill Green's Maine. It might as well be Bill Green's iOS.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
I like Bill Green with the tan, the one next to the one we have circled.
Well, that's Bill Green who just got back from LA. Yeah, that's back from LA Bill Green. It is a different version of each one. So there you go. If you are planning on taking the kids trick-or-treating tonight in a spooky neighborhood, or maybe just staying home to pass out treats, or just you want to be out and about during the prime hour, safety officials have some pretty important information for you.
Hannah Deneen breaks it all down straight ahead on News Center Maine at 5:30. You're going to be heading out there, right?
I'm on driveway patrol. I will be handing out the candy to the trick-or-treaters around a fire, while my wife will be gallivanting the neighborhood.
I was at an ice shop earlier today where they were selling dry ice for that spooky effect.
Sure.
And there was a little guy in there. He was maybe, I don't know, he was young enough that his dad could still hold him. Completely tuckered out. He was passed out asleep, and his dad was happy because he'd be well rested for trick-or-treating tonight.
And I look forward to them falling asleep so I can steal their candy.
You got to test it. Make sure it's not poisonous, right?
Parental control. Okay, how about this for trick-or-treating today? Some little guys and girls got an early start. This is at the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital today at Maine Medical Center, where a lot of kids on the floor got to go around. You had some doctors and other staff and nurses dressed up in Halloween costumes, and they got to go around and grab some candy.
That's so sweet there, passing out the candy in the halls, and even the nurses got in on it. We have a Dracula, I would guess, and the costumes there. I love this one. She's a fighter, and she's in the ring, and the team at the hospital has her back. I love that. And we got Spider-Man, too.
Pretty
what
cool
a great day for them.
And for a great memory there to grab some of that candy.
I know, that's good.
You never have too much of that.
Speaking of that.
Yeah. Did you ever get any candy you didn't want for Halloween?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I let the kids have that stuff. There's a new solution for unwanted candy.
Yeah, I give my black licorice to Lee because he loves it. And there's a type of alarm that has us, that is helping kids wake up, and it involves something that they are very familiar with. We'll explain when we come back. All right, everybody. Least favorite candy and go.
I was lucky. My sister, I only have one sibling, and my sister and I used to generally not like the same candy. So when we would get back from trick-or-treating, we would sit down in the living room. We'd set up all of our candy in categories, and we'd have like an open store where I could kind of look through what I wanted from hers and she would take from mine. But there were some you were allowed to protect that were off limits. So I was fine to give up Twizzlers, Starburst, Swedish Fish, like I don't any of that stuff that's like stuck to my teeth for like days. I'm all set. But I went after Butterfingers, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, obviously.
Oh yeah. Unless you have an allergy.
The Bullseyes.
Yeah.
The caramels with the vanilla in the middle.
Can I tell you a weird fun fact?
Please.
Whenever I have Starburst, like the citrusy flavors of Starburst, it feels like my nose is sweating. and Skittles, and anything like sour fruity.
So do you Sour Patch Kids?
Only the red ones. They're not as sour. They're sweeter. My observation. I swear.
I believe you.
It makes me feel like my nose is sweating. Do you guys remember Warheads?
Yes.
Yeah. It makes me feel like I'm sweating on my
Gobstoppers are
nose.
good. Candy corn is very good. No, J-Bar, I'll have the candy
Kiri, I agree.
John says we need to have our own emojis for the Now team. I totally agree.
Oh my gosh, we do have a little Now emoji, but it's only for internal use.
That is true. I was so excited when I found that. I started putting that on everything.
That's so great. Wow.
Whoa.
Wowie, wowie. Wow, wowie, wow. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, candy corn, you either love it or you hate it.
Circus peanuts, love it.
Yeah, you do love that.
Wrecker wafers, love them. Jelly beans, spice drops.
Do you like the
all that
fun
stuff.
jelly beans, like the buttered popcorn flavored jelly beans?
Yeah, not so much.
No.
I want the good old Brock's.
Oh, this is
like,
probably the
straight
last
sugar
day we're going to
ones.
see this one.
You okay? You gonna be okay?
Yeah, but I like it. You
Well,
guys see that little
Just
spot?
keep watching it back on YouTube over and over again.
I know. That's
Or
true.
you'll get a commercial on YouTube though.
That's true.
Sorry. For as long as kids have been getting candy for Halloween, there's always been some candy that they really weren't so crazy about getting.
Yeah, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup folks are hoping theirs is the candy their kids don't want, because they're setting up what they're calling a candy converter in New York City's Washington Square Park tonight from 4 to 9 to take in the Halloween candy that kids don't want, swapping out Reese's Peanut Butter Cups instead, swapping for it instead.
Yeah, the machine can handle about 10,000 cups. So all you gotta do is put in what you don't want and you get a Reese's in return.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, well, how about this too? This chocolate lover's paradise in Paris. The Salon du Chocolat is the world's largest event dedicated to all things chocolate.
More than 500 participants from 60 different countries taking part in the fair, and fair goers, of course, get to sample a whole lot of chocolate.
All right, what sound is more likely to get kids to wake up from the sound of an alarm? The answer will surprise you.
And Keith will also surprise us because he's gonna take a shot at me. That's weird, never seen that.
Is that Karen Goldberg watching tonight?
Seriously, it's a gift that keeps on giving. It's like
I don't know if I read that wrong. I don't understand that.
That's a newsroom shot, boys and girls.
Newsroom shot.
Oh, Kiri, I love black licorice. It's good. It's delish. Oops, I guess I should bring this, eh? John, don't encourage him.
Yeah, John, don't encourage him. Tammy says Starburst Skittles she loves, I think, and licorice gross. And then she loves chocolate. JR is watching. Dina loves black licorice. Yeah. Oh, Fred's not a fan of the garbage in candy these days.
Garbage in, garbage out, Fred.
Like artificial sweeteners, he says. High fructose corn syrup. I should probably read my next script, huh?
No. When was there a time, though, when candy was healthy? I feel like that's not a thing.
Yeah.
That's why it's candy.
Yeah,
That's
unless
why
you get
we-
those
that's
like.
why we like it so much.
Unless you get those like. Do you guys know those like fruit strips that you can get? Not like fruit by the foot, but like Not fruit roll-ups either, but like
the
ones that are like
They've
actually
got, like, organic twist,
fruit,
which is actual fruit. Yeah.
Yeah, those aren't bad.
Yeah, no, kids don't. They know the difference.
They're healthy.
Yeah, but the kids know.
Yeah.
Those aren't really fruit snacks. I do have a friend who used to think there was actual fruit in like the generic fruit snacks.
Really?
I'm like, you let your kids eat fruit snacks every day. He's like, yeah, it's cool. It's got fruit. I go, it really doesn't. Just so you know.
Yeah.
It's like mind blown. Really?
Yeah. I know. Well, that's interesting. That is interesting.
15, stand by.
11, stand by.
Thank you, thank you.
7, stand by.
How are you getting these cues? Are you making them up?
Yes.
Stand by.
I believe that cue. All right, usually in my house when the smoke alarm goes off, it means something's gone horribly wrong in the kitchen. But overnight, if the smoke alarm goes off, definitely we're waking up. Well, for kids, not so much.
Kids is totally different.
Yeah.
There's a more familiar sound that gets them to jump up out of bed. Erica Edwards will tell us what it is.
There's no question a working smoke detector like this can save lives in the event of a house fire. But studies have found children are such sound sleepers, they snooze right through these loud, high-pitched tones, like the kids in this controlled experiment.
It's going off right in their room, and they're not waking up for anything.
Now a new study from Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio, alerts us to what can rouse children, the sound of their mother.
The smoke alarms that use the mother's voice were much better at awakening children and getting them to leave the bedroom than the typical high-pitched tone alarm that is found in most American households.
The reactions of 176 sleeping children were measured in a lab where they were never in any danger from fire. When a standard smoke alarm sounded, about half woke up. But more than 3/4 of the kids woke up when alarms were programmed with mom's voice urging her children to wake up and leave the room.
We don't really know why mom's voice works so well. In fact, we're not really sure that it has to be mother's voice. Perhaps it could be any woman's voice or a human voice.
Come here, sweetheart. Wake up for mommy.
A gentle nudge when their lives may depend on it. Erica Edwards, NBC News.
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
That is, I feel like I'd be like, yeah, stop talking. I want to go back to bed, like if I was a kid. But the alarm, I'd be like, oh, that's not normal.
Alarms
So
are
I would jump up for that.
too. I can't believe only half of them woke up.
Well, you know, I'm sure
especially
like
the hardwired alarms.
Yeah.
Those are like you're like.
It's supposed to be. That's the point, right?
So. It is ear piercing, but it's interesting. Infants can sleep through like anything. You know, when you bring Luca in, sometimes in the newsroom, this place gets pretty loud, and he's sleeping away.
I haven't tried the alarm on him yet.
Yeah.
I'll try my voice.
That's probably a good thing.
Wake up, Luca.
That puts me to sleep.
Time to get out of the house. Yeah, the rest
Bring sweet nothing.
The rest of our viewers feel the same way. All right, we got a couple of showers going throughout the state right now, and I'm gonna watch those move towards the coastline as the day goes on here. But for the and see, people say I'm spineless.
Aww.
But there it is. Showers move towards the coastline. And a couple of.
Wait, is there another part? Do you want the other part?
Like it won't work. It's not working.
Oh,
jeez. All right, we'll try it again at 6. We'll try it again. Across northern Maine as well. Do we have any time for weather? But a lot of us staying dry. Unfortunately, down east is not one of those areas. The showers move towards the coastline by later on tonight, but they tend to fizzle as they get there. And by about midnight, most of us will be cleared out. Tomorrow, we're cloudy. We start the day with a lot of clouds. The showers wait until later in the day to move into southern Maine. And if you're north of, say, the mid-coast, you may not get any of these showers at all. They end up being really down through the mid-coast and down into southern Maine and eventually the mountains. That's an in-between day tomorrow. Unfortunately, a bigger storm system coming our way for Friday, and it looks nasty. Friday, midday, afternoon, through the night, it will be raining off and on with really heavy bands of precipitation, and then another slug of rain coming in late Friday night and through Saturday. Temperatures are actually mild on Saturday, but I doubt that's the thing that you'll notice as downpours continue through at least the first half of the day. Take a look at these future rainfall amounts. 2.5 inches in a lot of spots. By the way, this does not include a storm system that's likely to hit us on Tuesday night and into Wednesday. So we could be looking at 4 inches of rain or so over the next 6 or 7 days. And there's not much of a pattern as to where the heaviest rain is, perhaps a little enhancement out towards Fryeburg, western Maine, and into central New Hampshire. Now, there'll be a little snow involved in this at the beginning over northern Maine, and then on the back end, Saturday night and into Sunday morning in the mountains. But by and large, this is a rain event, and a heavy one. All right, then there's another rain event, guys, on Wednesday that looks similar to this. So enjoy yourselves. By the way, Sunday looks decent, as does Monday, and there's an election on Tuesday. You probably haven't heard anything about that, so I put a little sticker there to vote on Tuesday. But overall, our pattern is rough.
Wet and wild.
Rough.
Yeah.
Need better
tape.
Sunday.
I know, that was a good effort, though.
All right, well, I'm trying it out. We'll get it again.
Okay.
We'll get it right.
Maybe we'll get some heavy-duty tape for the 6.
Jess, is that a thing you do? Oh, good idea.
Thank you.
Good idea.
Staples?
Very much.
So smart.
Staples.
All right, let's take a look at what's snapping it.
I love that.
On Halloween.
Yeah, what's snapping
You know
it?
we've been creeping a little bit on your Snapchats and see what's going on with
it's
Halloween.
Pac-Man.
It is Pac-Man. This is at Darling's, Ford, Volkswagen, and Audi in Bangor. Love it.
I love when adults still
waka.
dress up. You know, because Halloween's not just for kids, it's for everyone. All right, we got a bucket of candy. Here we go. What's in there?
I don't know, but I'm invested in the candy.
Me too. What's in that?
How does this end?
Take all the candy you want.
Oh, all the candy you want. Did you hear that right?
I feel like that was for us.
Oh, okay.
See, that's super. I am so envious of people who can do pumpkin art like that to make really cool jack-o'-lanterns.
Look how excited she
I can't do
is.
that. I don't have the patience, the time, the energy, or the skill set.
Oh, okay. Back to the Red Sox parade. Oh, someone was getting her hair dyed. That's a commitment for a Halloween costume.
It really is.
That's a big deal.
You see what I did? It's a commitment.
It sure is. All right, a lot more coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30. Cindy Williams is here with a preview. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, guys. State police have now confirmed that they are working with police in Bucksport. There's some kind of situation going on Route 1. We don't know exactly what yet, but they have blocked off a big section of Route 1. We're going to hear the latest from Jackie Mundry, who is on the scene. And have you noticed those teal pumpkins sitting on people's porches? Well, there's a reason behind them, and it comes into play tonight. We'll tell you all about it. Coming up on News Center at 5:30. Back to you.
All right, Cindy, thanks so much. Stick with us. Brain drops when we come back. Yeah, no big deal. Jess, what were you holding up if it wasn't staples?
It was like a clip.
Oh, a clip. I thought they were staples. I thought you were holding up the staple. Or like, but then it would ruin your clothes, Keith.
Okay, Paul, I want Necco wafers, I want candy corn, I want Smarties. So I'll take those from you. You can have my Starburst, my Skittles. I'm keeping the M&Ms. I'm keeping the Lifesavers. I'm definitely keeping the Mike and Ike's, but you can have my now and laters. See, we would be good trade partners, Paul, because I don't like the stuff that that you do. So
do you know what my
totally
favorite
trade.
thing around Halloween is? When Jimmy Kimmel makes parents record telling their children that they ate all their Halloween candy and the kids' reactions.
Yes.
Do you ever do that with all your kids?
No, it's mean. I don't believe in videotaping my kids' reactions so I can put it on social media.
That's exploiting them, right?
I would never do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be internet famous for that. So I'm not gonna put my kids through. They're gonna be in enough therapy. They don't need that. They got enough problems.
All right. Oh, they got enough therapy. Ah.
I mean, I'm all about putting pictures of my kids up on Facebook or whatever. I love doing that, but it's usually when it's something good. Or just a cute picture. I don't mind that.
I've heard this
but
year.
I see people who specifically, obviously you've seen it, they videotape their child because they know something funny but awful is about to happen.
Yeah, like on America's Funniest Home Videos, yeah.
Right. So I'm all set with that.
Do you have a favorite go-to Halloween costume? Like either for yourself or your kids?
I'm awful at this. Honestly, I feel really badly. I don't love Halloween. I love it now. I put it over there. I love it now because I love it through my kids.
Through your kids, yeah.
But when I was a kid, it wasn't my thing. I mean, I like candy. I would never got into the dressing up. Like, I dressed up as stuff, but whatever I had in the house.
Yeah.
I, to this day, have never bought a costume. Like, if I had, I'd be a baseball player. I'd be, I'd grab some eye black, and I'd be a criminal or something I could do with around the house type stuff. And then I would come home and eat the candy. So, I know, I'm sorry. It's no fun. I love it now because of the kids, but it was never my thing.
All right, we did some statistical researches today on different highs, lows on Halloween Day. This one's easier, of course, because the date doesn't change, so you just go back. And so you guys, I quizzed you earlier in the newsroom, and you guys guessed low. You were 68, 70.
We both said 68.
Warmest Halloween has been, at least since we were keeping records in the 1800s, is 80 in 1946. Coldest, 1966, it was 18 degrees. That probably wasn't during trick-or-treaters, but that was the coldest low. Wettest, this stinks, 3 inches of rain in 1955. And Lee, you may remember this one because I do. 2011, remember we got a storm on, I think it was the 30th, 29th or 30th, and it was a record storm. So there was 2 inches of snow. That's the most we've ever had on the ground. In Portland, in Bangor, there was 4 inches on the ground during that time period. So that's the most they've had on the ground. Despite stories that you may hear about feet of snow on the ground on Halloween, if it happened, the person is older than 150 years old. And the other one that we didn't have space for, but I was kind of surprised. What do you think the most it has snowed, Portland or Bangor, on actual Halloween?
The most it has snowed in terms of inches? Maybe, I don't know.
I'm going 4. 4 inches on Halloween.
Trace. It has never snowed more than a trace on the day of Halloween. That actually surprised me a little bit. This one and the trace surprised me. I remember this. But anyways, it's interesting to put it in context. And 80, I can't imagine because that's weird for Halloween.
All right, we have like 15 seconds. An impromptu poll. Halloween trick-or-treating should be always on the 31st or move it to a weekend day?
I think you should keep it.
I think always on the 31st.
Yeah. The adults can party on the weekend.
I say always on the 31st as well. All right, New Center Maine at 5:30 is coming up next. Why would you do that?
Bye, guys.
Did you see that?
You know exactly why he did that.
You know on television. That is so rude.
You know exactly why he did that. We knew he was going to find out about that. Bye, guys.